You know that look in the eyes of a child where everything is new, everything is an adventure, show hands of parents, drives us crazy because they touch everything and climb on everything. And everything is new every day, right? I didn't have that as a child. See, I was born in extreme poverty and trauma. I know what it feels like to be a survivor. I know what it feels like to kick the table so the roaches will run from the food that you would still have to eat. I know what it feels like to be so hungry you can't even think. I know what it feels like to be the smelly kid in class. And the planning that goes into going into class last so you would be the first one to exit. I know the mental journey a child's mind goes on, knowing that they're worth more dead than they are alive. It's in those moments of desolation that people made a social investment in my life. Those people I like to call my solid ground people. My solid ground people, like my little brother, who acted as my advisor and I as his because we had no role models to look up to. Miss Jackson, the social worker who told me, baby, you better become a giant because life has handed you mountains. Mr. Finley, every time I think of him, I still get aggravated. Mr. Finley taught me how to think through hunger, and that hunger would be less with more education. More education. Every single day, Mr. Finley would pull me aside and have me repeat the school mantra to him. Solum optima parenta sunt. It means only your best is good enough. And he would repeat back to me, if every day you do your best, you will inherit the best, and life will hand you the best. My solid ground people showed me that I had value. And when you show someone that you care, they start caring. And so I realized that I had value. And to this day, I value all the people that walk through our doors in need. My name is Kirk Brown, and I'm the CEO of Handy. You see, Handy is a special place. We honor the resilience of everyone that walks through our doors. That human value is great. And we treasure it. And we look to become or create the solid ground for which they can stand. The tragedy that we face is so many of our young people live in multi-generational poverty in a socioeconomic landscape that is not equitable nor it is inclusive. You see, we have some kids who 8 a.m. in class is not 8 a.m. in class. Okay, 8 a.m. in class means they traveled a mile mentally to get there. They struggle with abuse, neglect, abandonment every single day in communities ridden with poverty and crime. And the solutions that are offered sometimes are ineffective and short-lived. You can't solve 2 generations of poverty with a 6-month program. So imagine a place where a young man that is conditioned for the school to prison pipeline becomes the CEO for abused, neglected, and homeless kids. That would be me. But I don't really matter if you remember me. I want you to remember Philip. You see, Philip is the reason why I'm on the stage. Philip came to us at age 15. On his way to jail for a crime he did not commit. Someone else in his family created a crime. But the family got together and said, well, he's young enough. If he takes the rap, he'll be out in time to take part in the family business of selling drugs. All too often, this happens in communities all around us where lives are brokered towards destruction instead of greater destiny. Now imagine how Philip is thinking, feeling, and behaving at that moment in our society when the protectors have brokered his life towards destruction. That's why the handy 3 levels of caring really matters. We embrace, we educate, and we empower. What does that look like? The embrace. It's a tight embrace. It's not loose. You ever been hugged really tight? Feels good. But it also depends who's doing the hugging. So we hire practitioners with lived experience, with valiant hearts that are dedicated to change the trajectory of the community in need in which they live, work, and play. And so when they sit with Philip in the embrace to make the plan for him to get him out of chaos, they understand fully the trauma that he's going through and the mental health journey that he has to go on to plan his way out, even for basic needs. That's the embrace. And in the embrace, we look for low and affordable housing to put Philip in that is safe. Because the pillow that you put your head on should not be the pillow planning your destruction. Second, we educate. We act as social interpreters to Philip, and we start telling Philip about the value that he has educationally, in his community, as a person, that we sometimes call life skills. It's a fancy name for it. Some people call it soft skills. It's how to shake a hand, how to tie a tie, how to say hello. This is a full sentence sometimes. But it's how to interpret this and do a positive relationship skills with our young people that they could talk to any and all people. And it's after one of those life skill class that Philip walks into my office and he's fluttering and his hand is shaking and his lip is shaking. I'm like, oh my goodness, what just happened? And he walks in and he says, how can I go from understanding to doing? And for the practitioners in the room, you know what that means. He finally sees what we hope he sees. That, my friends, is when human value, instilling human value in a life, leads to actionable self-worth. That's what we believe. So we jump into action. And we get with Philip and we say, what career do you want to do? And he tells us. And we say, okay, what kind of credentials do you need to get to that career? And we explore that with him in a plan. And then we say, what kind of workforce development that you will need? Because he's 17 right now. What workforce development do you need in order to excel in that career? Because you can't be a participant in that career. Because life has not handed you anything but mountains. And so we sit down with Philip and build a plan with Philip. Now, what does actionable self-worth look like? Well, Philip goes on to graduate high school, like 95% of our young people do. Philip moves on to post-secondary, the different layers of post-secondary, not just 4-year, 2-year, apprenticeship, work experience. We explore everything based on their choice. That's 90% of our young people. Philip completes post-secondary. That is 65% of our young people. But y'all remember the embrace? At dinner, at graduation dinner, Philip's mentor slides an offer across the table for him to work in a career field for one of the largest manufacturing companies. Everyone's crying around the table. Tears are going down the faces. A dream is being realized. Philip said yes. He now leads one of their manufacturing divisions in Kansas. See, because of love, support, practitioners with lived experience, with valiant hearts in communities of need, Philip won. Handy won. You won. You just don't know it yet. Handy needs your help. We need your time, talent, and treasure. Time, people. This is interesting. You make up a lot of the solid ground. You're the mentors, the practitioners with the giving hearts, the people that will answer the phone at 1 o'clock in the morning when a young person wants to quit. You're willing to donate your time with the any skills you have to elevate a mind across troubled waters and build that bridge. Talent. Talent, people. Imagine a workforce where an asset like Philip is admired because he's coming to you with grit. G-R-I-T, not grits, grit. Greater resilience in tension. He already knows how to perform under tension. He already knows how to achieve in a way less than perfect world. Imagine if we built a pipeline from communities in need to corporations that succeed. Treasure. Transformation has a cost. As we scale up as an organization and seek to bring this to all of the communities that you represent, for all of the Philips in your communities, help us pave the way and pave the way. My name is Kirk Brown. I'm the CEO of Handy. And I believe that instilling human value leads to actionable self-worth. I thank you for your time, your talent, and your treasures to build solid grounds for Philips of this world to stand on. Thank you.